Yeah, casters do a lot of different games. So, yeah. I mean, Zoe does, like, Valorant, Overwatch. Vicky Kitty does a lot of Smash, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken. She's done a lot of Apex. She's done Overwatch before as well. Like, there's a lot that going on here. A lot of you guys think Nightmare's going to win this. Nightmare's at 71%, but YWL, you guys both have the same amount of total voters, but Nightmare just seems rich. What's going on, YWL? What's going on?
With the Protect on the Daredevil themselves. And one thing I have to note here, Shib, Mace said, a lot of our pick and ban phase, there's been a lot of thought and time spent into this just to break it down and analyze it. He said, if our pick and bans do not make sense, don't worry, have faith, because there's a reason behind it.
Ooh.
A method to the madness, if you will. And yeah, shout out.
This is really interesting. The other team is, what do you call it? Nightmare is not banning Gambit or Elsa.
And the removal here of Rogue, that's simply because
these are some very interesting bans, chat. No Elsa ban.
Also kind of forces out the ban, right? Because
no Gambit ban. No Tank Deadpool ban.
The Rogue to get through. Rogue just goes up an entire other tier with that team up.
Yeah, it's because when you use that team up, even when you use one of your piercing kicks, it enables an extra burst of damage on every hero hit. So if the team is stacking and you throw one kick through, it can almost virtually one-shot the backline, and you have two of them ready right off the rip. So you got to remove it. Definitely notches her up a tier. And the lock-in of Strange here, talking about some weird stuff.
Locking in Strange? Bro, what the hell am I watching?
Coming out next, and the Protect on Strange means that, yeah, We Lost may have also done some homework, because they're noting, okay, well, if Nightmare want to prevent them from trying to recontest on the point, which is incredibly important, by the way, on domination, they don't want to risk anything. But the Elsa has kind of been the server admin in a lot of our games, and they go for the Elsa ban next. But it's interesting, because can you imagine if Yeah We Lost ended up protecting the Elsa there? They're prioritizing
Elsa ban,
on
smart,
these points rather than maybe that damage output instead.
Yeah, that might have been the deepest we've ever seen Elsa go into this pick and ban phase so far in the preseason without being locked. And
there is the Deadpool save. Okay.
That is a genius plan. I've always shouted that out on certain maps.
One team saved. That's actually a really smart strat, chat. One team saved the Doctor Strange. One team banned the Doctor Strange. That means one team is going to be able to portal back to the point in overtime to have another fight. You're taking that away from the other team. It's a smart ban.
Tank will coming right back to the mix. Mace is ready for it. We see Daredevil 2 on Nightmare's side. But something else that we were talking to some players about, the resurgence of Ultron coming back into fruition has been something that we're seeing in the triple strat lineup. Now, another question mark we've also seen after watching the series with Sentinels just yesterday is, with these ultimate nerfs on the terms of energy and how long it takes to get these ultimates online, is the triple strategist really viable right now?
Yeah, I mean, and that's kind of still up for debate, right? I'm with you 1,000%. It's, you know, 20% reduction in ultimate charge, but it kind of changes per specific type of hero. When you're a strategist, you actually take the biggest hit in just your neutral gain of that ult charge. So if you're sitting around, you won't be seeing your ult charge nearly as fast. So they have to be more involved in order to get those ults faster. And I personally love that change, but that's why you do see less impact of those ultimates and why it kind of takes away from that triple line. But you can see double Hulk, Monster showing the cap, some different stuff already, Vicky, as we start up here.
Okay, let's see this, chat. Let's see this.
Coming out of the Spider-Man. Wait, they're going for a play already. But Jitward on the Spider-Man, I don't know how long this one's gonna last here, Shib. I won't sit on the edge of my seat just yet, but I know the audience wanted to see maybe the Spider-Man Ditto coming out, because this is a team that could absolutely run it. The Turtle comes out to play, and Jitward's
okay, let's see this, chat.
Into position, trying to note where everybody is situated here on the catwalk.
Let the games begin. Monster finds one, and Mace immediately thinks again. Are you kidding?
A Spider-Man in pro play. This is wild. Chat, I don't know how I feel about the Spider-Man, but I'm very interested in this game. I like the off-meta picks. I really like the off-meta picks.
Nightmare starting off with 5%.
It's even crazier to see how ready Nightmare was, and this is the beauty of the tank pool. It's going to be matched from both sides. Banhammer, who are they going to ban out, though? That's the question. They put down the bubble before. Skier's forced to back away now. Jitward's falling incredibly low.
Oh my god.
This is why you have to
apparently Spider-Man is an S-tier character, chat, but he looks like he's getting demolished right now.
Off to the right side of this point, because they're ready for it. Yes, you have vision on the Phoenix, dealing so much of that damage.
Yeah, the idea now is just to
Remember, chat, I cannot stress this enough. Your ranked gameplay is very different than your tournament gameplay. Very different. Jay, predictions? I already started up the prediction fan.
Control of the point. Speaking of who to hit with the banhammer, you typically, when you're on Vanguard pool, want to find a strategist that has to land shots. Something like you can see Xantho there on Invis, because if they miss just one of those heals, they'll take that extra damage, and that's why they typically upgrade that banhammer first, so they just take more and more damage, making it even more difficult to escape as Xantho finds vision.
And that's why it's so scary, too, as these games progress, the level ups on these dead pools. But Xantho getting his answer back. Nightmare has answers, though. Ayavagamoto as Deke protects.
Oh! He grabbed someone so he wouldn't be swallowed. Smart play by the Hulk player. He ulted and started slamming him so he wouldn't get swallowed by the Jeff, which a lot of Jeff players try to swallow the ulting the Hulk.
That is a huge layer.
Great pull. Wait a minute. Great pull.
As vision goes down. Ton of ults available here for Nightmare in the next fight, though. This is their fight to win. If they somehow aren't able to recap here, I will say this first map would look bleak for them. Monster going to start up here with a freedom charge. That is going to give some all charge to the rest of the team. Light going to engage here with the let the devil out, but do we see value as the bot gets committed? The whale lands, and 3 fall immediately. As we see now,
nice job, player 5, player 2, and what was it, player 6? Why do they have a viewer? I mean, an observer using streamer mode? It doesn't make any sense.
Nightmare are looking to retake this point because, yeah, we lost already nearing 80%.
And we do see Zaytex now has that res available. Jitward gets caught before using that ultimate. That is a ton of value there from Light. And an early pick in that neutral. Neutral ever more valuable as we see in these battles. But again, Zaytex with that ult available. The idea now is the team takes over point and they have a full committed fight where they're not afraid to get KO'd and just ensure they just stall that point for as long as possible before you have to commit that ultimate. Wow, Jitward falling again. Though, is again huge for the side of Nightmare.
And good luck trying to match that with Vision just bunkered down with all his squids to back him up like a bouncer, but they have to call out where that passive is. Yes, Light takes care of the Adam Warlock, but that Karmic Revival is online. And Vision with the back-to-back, the Born Again rings out, and they call him out immediately, but it's okay. He lets loose of the button, he brings back 3 still, but will it be enough sustain? As Jitward comes in, he tries to stun them from the back line, he still finds Zinks in the long run, and that's also a big pick considering that the It's Jeff was online, and now we lost have the number advantage before moving on to the point.
But remember, folks, Nightmare does not have portal back, so it's all going to be about the touch here, as the point will likely shift in a moment.
Oh yeah, this is actually really bad. Nightmare cannot port back. Remember, chat, Nightmare cannot port back.
Controlling point. It's going to be a necessary touch coming in here, likely from Monster on that cap to ensure the team can get in and have to force out cooldowns. And that's the downside to not having
What's up, Maddington?
Getting there to this point.
Welcome back. Welcome back. I don't know about all that.
You need, as we see, wow, Jitward just escaped barely in that moment. There's the touch. The team fight begins. Out goes the banhammer. Does that find value? Not quite yet. Monster holding on. The whale lands, but no one goes down as Monster gets the first pick now onto Zaytex, and still maintaining presence. Out goes the boundary. The point is an absolute heater right now, and it's back and forth on the KO feed.
But keeping our eye on Skier right now, you need that invisible boundary as Deke sends out
no,
the other
you can't.
Woman
wow. Killing the Invis woman is rare when you swallow them as Jeff, because Invis woman can just jump back on the map. I'm really surprised that Invis woman died.
Something else is, yeah, we lost. Do you have the opportunity to portal back to recontest?
Yeah, and they're going to need to do it shortly here. You have to touch the 3% on. I'm not sure the touch came through. It did not. And Nightmare was able to stop it, saying, hey, we didn't need change in that moment. And that is going to be one match for Nightmare.
Hey, that is a crazy first round, chat. That was a crazy first round. This is like a very unorthodox game of Marvel Rivals. Like a lot of weird picks going on right now. And I'm here for it.
Not too sure. Do they want to stick to the Spider-Man is the question, because I feel like Nightmare, especially Vision, the way that he's been backing up both Dinks and Skier is making it really difficult, including Light, right? Who's been trying to hone in on him.
Yeah, I'm with you. It kind of depends here. That was a very strong Spider-Man map, specifically here as we're looking at it.
I want to see the stats, bro. I wish they showed us stats in the middle of the games, man. Like after the half, after one half, I want to see the stats. I fully
agree with the band, the strange band. It looks like right now, since Nightmare has such a mobile team and they're so dive heavy, they don't really have too much problem with the touch idea. I think they wanted to try to make a portal play early. That didn't work out, and we're already seeing a change, at least so far from Kendrick, likely just to bubble the team out with speed. The Gambit change comes in. A lot of shifting in composition, either is a team that is learning from the opposition or a team that's panicking. We're going to find out what that is in a moment.
Player 10, player 12, player 11. Yes, the player 9. Nice.
These teams already having that practice, knowing what to expect. Monster, though, has been literally a monster right now on the cap, trying to contest there with the hook for backing away.
Yeah, sadly, I can't do the stats.
Yeah, we'll see here now. Monster just getting to point early. He's not going to be allowed to touch and make anything happen for 6 more seconds, but instead is going to launch the Freedom Charge. Get that alt charge gaining for the team. Monster playing hyper aggro now while you have that safety. Maze putting some pressure on the front line. Light, though, finds the first pick onto Kendrick, and that is huge as Dinks takes out another. Numbers are dwindling here, and what's more, Nightmare coming out on top early on in this fight.
And yeah, we lost actually trying to match that right with Kendrick now beyond the Jeff. Mass is going to go down. That was a Thor on your screen. We had Thor and Hulk rolled out from Yeah, we lost, and they get shut down with Nightmare. Not really.
I like that team's name. Yeah, we lost.
Right? They're going to have so much ready for this next fight with a huge stagger that we just messaged is so detrimental in Dom.
Yeah, that's the idea. And Dom, we kind of touched on it, but you just want to stall point. Nothing else matters. That's why some of these picks, like Captain America, who can just stand there forever, are huge. And that's going to be a start.
I don't know what's going on in this room.
Down goes another vision onto Jitward. Monster again, just showing a masterclass on this cap here and keeping the pressure on and owning this space in the front side, keeping them in this tight corridor.
You were able to see Caster Cavs right there. My jaw dropped. I was like, okay, they are just fully sweeping. It's cleanup on aisle 3 for this team, quite literally, as they're funneled up inside this little room, looking to see if they can split this attention, because this also so hard to break this choke, spread out when you're running a Vanguard lineup like this.
Yeah, and we are going to see more commitment now. Out goes a ton of cooldown. The invisible boundary committed. The God of Thunder lands, and it's Jeff, but does that seem to work out as Vision finds one on the Zaytax? The trade comes through. Monster going to save the team there on Kendrick as Cart finds one on the Maze. Back and forth we go as Mask now takes out Vision and Cart again on the light.
But with the map shifting over to the side, it actually benefited.
Oh, the Thor, bro. The Thor's cooking.
Crazy. He's awakened.
We just did a spectating rank 1 on Thor, too.
Moving up to create some real estate for the rest of his team. Yeah, we lost finally took the point for the first time in this round.
Yeah, but that is huge value. Getting to that 70% number essentially turns this into a one-fight win for the side of Nightmare. Granted, they do not have the portal that Yeah, we lost will have. So the idea now is to just build ults as a team, potentially even lose a few fights, and then everyone presses Q at once to ensure you win the one last fight you need. As we see another pick coming in early on the side of Monster.
Don't worry, get down. I'll protect you, Dink says after they see the dance of the butterfly, but it's going to be Vanpool versus Vanpool, activating everything with a number of
I don't know what I'm looking at on my screen. I'm going to be honest with you, chat. I just spent the last 15 seconds just looking at a lot of colors.
Santos finds Vision. Next, Monster's going to meet him back in the spawn room gates.
I wish I could tell you what I was just looking at.
Yeah, we lost because Nightmare were not able to
Bryn,
put the points.
appreciate the massive prime sub, my friend. Welcome, welcome.
Yeah, but now the side of Nightmare, like we were saying, just build those ults. Monster has something available. Vision as well. You're looking potentially to have some sort of answer ultimate, whether that's from Skier or Dinks. Likely Skier coming up here in this next fight. And then you just press Q before Yeah, we lost can get there. Because the only answer they'll have shortly is going to be the God of Thunder, which does not do too much into a very coordinated team. He has a great neutral, but not the best ultimate. And let the games begin as the next fight commences. We see more chase here from Monster. Almost getting that pick, but barely.
I do think Captain America is really good.
Not in my house, and
I do think Captain America is really good this season. He's really good with your dive team, too.
This shark, maybe look and turn it into some sushi. If Zaytax can even find his footing. He fell incredibly low, does get resustained.
No, they are not playing Gambit, chat. Even though YWL can play Gambit. Oh, now they are playing Gambit.
Before Vision could call in the Hornet Proteus, but Light could also try to harass him from the back, make a sandwich out of Yeah, we lost.
Yeah, I don't think they were playing Gambit before.
Are looking to retake.
Wow, and they're coming back with a vengeance, though. Yeah, we lost. Finds 2. Vision, though, with a 2-piece. Out goes the whale. Does that land? No. Jitward could use the iframe from taking a picture to not even think about it in a moment. That was big brain there from Jitward to avoid.
Oh, he's playing the DPS Deadpool. Yeah.
No way.
For days, and I like that idea as he finds the pick on Light here. Clean play here from Jitward.
Oh, he's just trying. Somebody save him. Ayúdame. He's not going to be able to catch that shark over to the side. He's going back to the safety of his team.
The DPS.
For as long as possible.
The DPS Deadpool. That is something that we don't see. Tank Deadpool, yes, but DPS Deadpool, not
just
really.
He can try to stay on this point. Another very close round between both of these teams.
And it is back and forth again. Vision.
Prin, appreciate the Master Prime 7 up. Appreciate it.
And that's a strategist. Huge pick as Cart now takes out Vision.
I think I said that right.
Back and forth we go, folks. But Nightmare looking like they will take this point. 95% in climbing. Are we going to have ourselves a 99? As Gambit says he ain't folding, and everybody charges onto the point. But where does this end up? Monster duking it out in the front line with another dive front line of Venom. But still, they're both just way too beefy to make anything happen just yet. The commitment comes through. The Feast of the Abyss available. Does commit. Does it get value?
I think YWL can actually win this. They have the better ults.
With the anti-heal, they wanted to try to set up for the Dance of Butterflies. They still come out
Yeah,
on top,
I think we might go to a round 3.
Too. Overtime taking away. Vision falls incredibly low. No sustain with no strat available, and Zaytech takes out Vision. Nightmare trying to come back. They're forcing it together because
they don't have portal. Remember, chat, they can't port back. This Captain America is doing a god stall, but they can't port back.
Are you kidding me? Zaytech though gonna find a Quadra. Are you joking right now? Trying to show up here for we lost. There is no way back, and that is going to be a 1-to-1 situation.
Oh,
they don't.
Strange.
They
at the
don't.
Very end.
Have
we lost. Look, that Nightmare say, "You sure you don't need that real quick?" You may have recontested in that first round, but in that second round, those ulti sinks actually ended up costing them. Unfortunately, not allowing them to recontest.
I love it. You sure about that? I do love it. You're right. Good call out there. As that
you see what I'm talking about, chat? The Strange ban is really strong, bro. You take away that portal that a lot of people rely on.
We lost it clearly. Has been a change that's working for them. Pulling out that Thor to just battle in the neutral and finding a ton of backline value onto the strategist of Skier and Dinks. You have Zaytex on that Psylocke who implies so much pressure, and when you don't have Loki crystals to answer that ultimate, you are forced to burn an ultimate to try to answer, and that is a tough position to be in. I gotta say, maybe Loki wouldn't be a horrendous idea, but we'll see what they elect to do.
But it can't work in ranked because if you ban Strange, then you're banning Strange for your team and the other team. So it's a double-edged sword, bro.
If you could kind of spread out a little bit and really rely on those lamps, and this is a great round to do so, especially with the verticality that this round provides.
Yeah, the value right now, the tricky part is Jeff is just so good in neutral. The speed boost is so valuable for a diving composition like this. I understand the lack in choice there.
That Noodle's still crying.
As we see here, Jitward finding one of the few duelist pools that actually makes a presence in the scene.
Wants to go outside.
A ton of just dirty plays there in the MRC, and it's continuing here.
I do like the Psylocke pick, though. I do like the Psylocke pick, chat. I think Psylocke is slept on.
Yeah, we lost early on.
Honestly, watching Jitward play, it doesn't matter if it's on the Spider-Man, the duelist pool, it's just always so enjoyable. He pops the ult, isolates the backline there too, forcing Nightmare to give up on that point first, allowing YWL to have advantage, whereas in that last round that they just won, they didn't really start in that strong foot, right? Nightmare had pushed right in front of their face, almost closer to their spawn, as a reset comes in, God of Thunder slamming down with Mjolnir, and now you have Dinks that could use the itch jab to go in for a reset, but also the piercing damage of these jabs have just been so impactful.
Yeah, and that's the idea here. Jeff just excels in these single lane format maps. His Vision's able to find Kendrick there, and they are walking them back down the change in composition now from Nightmare as we see the Phoenix come in. Phoenix does a great job of peeling backline as well. That's done. And just the application of damage in an AoE. Oh my!
Nice shots by Vision. Nice shots by Vision, bro.
Retake point with 40 up from we lost. Not a bad retake in terms of percentage.
Reminding everybody what we're watching, right? Literally putting the Ignite to the Marvel Rivals Ignite in this banger of a first game to open up the day, and Nightmare have a lot of
wait, Beats your hero? Who put Phoenix in B?
To having that freedom charge as well, that they're gonna have
Who
to
put
see
Phoenix
how
in
they're
B?
gonna cycle through this with this Rage and Royal Plus.
No. No. That tier list has to be rage bait. No. No. No, I'm sorry, but that is wild.
Back and forth situation, point in control in terms of Nightmare. Jitward doing Jitward stuff here on this duelist pool. Do we see more play? And oh my goodness, the movement is insane. What am I looking at?
Oh, he knows how to play. He knows what he's doing, man. Jitward was moving and breaking ankles and breaking their neck to look up. Only so much Cap can do. He stalls for as long as possible, but we lost.
That is actually crazy, bro. That
now
is
seems
crazy.
like as good a time as any to mention. This is not the most updated patch, where Duelist Pool does have that little hit to his animation cancel on that dive, so we will see a little bit of a takedown in that play style coming up next week. But for now, might as well get your advantage as you see a ton of clean play there. And at the spawn door they go, but Vision still able to find Zaytex in the mix.
And Dance to the Butterflies, more like a Dance Back into the Spawn, because that was over in their face of the spawn room gates. But unfortunately, Vision being on the Phoenix has had a lot of impact in marking down those members of Yeah We Lost. Mass does have a reset just in case. He activates it immediately after losing out on the Gambit. Unfortunate, but there's not going to be any sustain as they're forced to reset, and Nightmare take the point.
Yeah, and this is gonna settle a debate that maybe hasn't even been out there yet. Is Van Pool as good as current state Duelist Pool at this level prior to the changes? And you can see their Mace obviously rocking the Vanguard pool. We talked about how strong that ultimate is, but for some reason, Jitward on this hero is just playing lights out. It's definitely a tough
talking to
character
Emily.
to keep
Can I
eyes on
ask,
with
why
all
did
that
you stop being a
movement.
pro?
82% here for Yeah We Lost.
Been there, done that, man. I like
Yeah,
streaming.
you know, aside from that Dance to the Butterflies,
Streaming's a lot more relaxing. I get to sit here with you guys, talk shit about other people. They're my friends, don't worry. I talk shit about my friends, and they talk shit about me. That's just how friendship is, chat. If you can't talk shit about your friends, it's not a friendship. It's just a lot more relaxing, man. Like, when you play pro, don't get me wrong, I've been there. It's a lot of fun playing tournaments. I love playing on a stage, don't get me wrong. But content creators are so chill. Like, you watch it with your community, you build your own community, which is amazing. Like, I mean, you don't have to worry about getting cut or getting kicked off a team.
It's only been 2. They have to rely on this invisible boundary there. I'm looking at Skier.
Is there any reason why Phoenix don't use crosshairs?
Down the bubble with a freedom charge.
Is Vision not using a crosshair? Vision should be using a crosshair.
A monumental moment, and Light has been constantly shut down. This sword pick from Yeah We Lost has helped out at least.
Oh my, this is like a bloodbath right here. This is a crazy game. 99-99 and on round 3. He has a crosshair. Yeah, he has a crosshair. You just can't see it because it's red. He has a crosshair.
Massive value Gambit pick as Nightmare still wants this point. Monster able to find Mass. The teleport needs to come in here from Kendrick, which is already being
Vision has a crosshair. It's red. You can see it right here.
Will he be able to escape this tight
when he reloads, it disappears though. I don't know why.
Are dwindling here for Yeah We Lost. Nightmare retakes point. OT ticks down. Can they shut this down as the Dance of the Butterfly gets committed? Oh my goodness.
Oh my, wait, YWL might win this first round.
You find 3, but it's not enough because the devil was let out. Even if Light was
YWL lost?
Having that ultimate for that final fight made all the difference when they lost out on half their membership.
Bro,
Nightmare.
If I was playing Psylocke, chat, if I was playing Psylocke and I ult and I get all those kills and I lost the round, bro, I am putting a hole in my desk. I am putting a hole in my desk. Hey, what a great play by Nightmare, though, to hold it down and actually win that.
As we're going to be looking at our MVPs.
Yeah, wow.
Dinks coming out on top of 11 finals, showing up
41-9 on Jeff with 49 assists. Hey, that was a great game, though.
You know, when you take a look at Hell's Heaven, there's a lot of open sight lines where that piercing could come in clutch. Everyone stacks up together. It goes through your teammates. It goes into the enemy. You add on that extra tick of damage, and you kind of let your Daredevil Vision 2 was popping off with that burst damage to just fly.
Yeah, oh man. I mean, that was just a blast to watch. Vision coming out with 22 finals as well, 30k damage. Really showing up there for a while on the Namor, but then making the switch over to Phoenix. And again, I think Namor is storied for
Vision
protecting your backline against dive.
Vision wasn't
does a great job as well.
Oh, you're talking about Light.
And has a stun and just
46-10 with 30,000 damage on Daredevil. That is actually kind of fucking crazy.
Everybody finding a ton of final hits across the board here.
Can you imagine looking back at the setups that we saw from both teams, though, from the very beginning?
Nah, yeah, I don't think Phoenix, chat.
Never
will Phoenix be a B pick.
We had the duelist.
Never.
This is crazy. Like, it's just been a huge mix-up from the different metas of these teams trying to figure it out here, Chib.
Yeah, that was a ton of fun, folks. And keep it locked right here. We're going to have plenty more of these kind of matchups coming up right after this break.
What's the score? The score currently is 1-0. It just started. NA just started. Yeah. Yeah, that's actually crazy, dude. I actually thought YWL kind of won that last team fight, but also I do like I do like these teams playing. Seeing the Spider-Man, the DPS, Deadpool, the Thor. I like it. It's different. It's different, and I like it. And now we have a K-pop break. I think all these games are gonna be great today, though. All these games are gonna be great. And I will say, yo, Marvel Rivals has some great fucking music, bro. 10 gifted if you twerk. I don't know about all that, chat. I'm not twerking, bro. I'm not twerking. I listened to this in the car. Hey, you bumped this shit in the car, bro? I like it. Copyright strike. Nah, I actually don't think they give copyright strikes anymore. Or maybe they, let me actually see. My live stream yesterday did not get copyright strikes. Wow. I'm pretty sure it will in a few days, though. Disney does not play... if you guys didn't know, NetEase, Disney, it's Marvel Rivals is... Marvel is Disney. They do not play. They do not play with copyright strikes. Yeah. Nightmare won with no TP. I wouldn't say they won the map, but that was a bloodbath, bro. It went to round 3. It was 99 to 99. Literally, that last fight could have went any way, chat. Any way. Why would you get copyright, though? Because this is their song, and they have the license to it. And technically, I am streaming on YouTube as well as Twitch, so they would say, hey, if you're making money on that, it's not yours anymore. Yoink! Wait, perfect song to end to, though. 5 seconds remaining, the song ends? Wait a minute. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Hello and welcome back, one and all. Zoe here, joined by Ship and Vicky, and we're about to dive into our second map of our first series of the day. And man, this one delivered. This is exactly what we wanted to see. Wild comms, lots of questions. Like, if you watch just this match, don't take any notes, because this is just going to work for those particular players. Like, you can't really replicate this in your ranked games, I don't think. Thor in the mix, Hulk in the mix, Spider-Man was in there, although we have to say, like, he had a hard time. Like, that didn't really work. But then afterwards, we see him on the duelist pool, so, like, that was super interesting. How do you even break this down? Like, what did we take away? What did we learn?
I know Zoe's relatively new to Marvel Rivals, but she looks like she knows what she's talking about.
Honestly, I think the fact that Nightmare to
Damn.
won without having to use a portal, that's very difficult. And in this level of Marvel Rivals play, guys, like, these portal plays
she's
come in
learning.
clutch, and that's why the Doctor Strange ban is a bold ban, because you want to
no more cozy. I'm pretty sure all the casters switch out
on each other, which is why we saw the protect on the Doctor Strange from the other side of Jitward's team here from we lost. But then we take a look at the fact that, like, Mask came out, we saw him go onto the Thor originally before they made the swap with Kendrick going onto the Doctor Strange. I think, though, Zoe, the number one thing I noted was that Nightmare was so ready to try to combat that of the different changes that we saw from we lost.
I've never seen her before. She does Overwatch a lot. She's like a big face in Overwatch.
Dinks too, popping off on
She's also done other
was
games.
A big highlight. There's a reason why he got MVP, right? He had like 34k healing, slightly more than Skier, who was on the Invisible Woman. But on top of that, he had 11 final hits being on a strat.
Yeah,
and
Jeff
that's the
obviously
idea.
such an integral part, right, Ship, in the current meta, and we saw Jeff on both sides here. Great hero for the neutral, which is so important in this meta.
Yeah, I think the idea with Jeff when you're playing Jeff is you don't.
I
Really
am not
going to
be a host, chat.
I think a lot of folks see Jeff as a
I am
strategist that
not
struggles, but
caster
at the end of the day, you wanna
material
flank with
or
Jeff, and you
host
wanna spray
material,
through
I
the
think.
backline of the enemy into your team. You get out super quick and you try to make plays. In 11 finals, there was dirty from Dinks. I mean, and we can list a ton of different plays. I think the crazy and fun thing about these teams is they play very much a dive style of play. Comms are super important. Setting up is super important. And for strategists, you just are terrified at all times because everybody is looking for you. And then on top of all that, you have Mace applying.
I agree with you.
the
What?
back
Whoa,
line of,
calling me bad?
Yeah, we lost, taking Strange Portal away from them. There was just so much.
No,
happening
casting is
that was
really hard,
unique,
bro. You gotta know
for this
all the
matchup.
ability
I think teams
names. You
on the
gotta
fly
do
had to figure it out
play-by-play.
and
You
try to
gotta
find
do.
a way through it.
Nah, I
And
can't
shout
do
out
that,
to
bro.
Nightmare doing just that.
Yeah, if we're looking ahead on our next map,
I do
what
VOD
we wanna
reviews.
see
VOD
here in
reviews
the
is not
back
casting.
because obviously, yeah, we lost. They technically would have had the Gambit advantage in the first one, and it did show in, I believe, round 1 or 2, like how much of an impact that can have, even though they didn't get the dub in the end. But what do you expect to see from either of the teams?
I feel like the Gambit
It's more-
Kendrick was so focused on, right? Like Kendrick just didn't
It's
really have
more
any room
about
to
the
breathe,
homework,
and
bro.
that's
My
why you could see
brain
the
to my
difference in,
mouth
like, the
cannot
strat
talk
he was,
that
like, he was
fast,
able to
bro.
put down, think
I
it
will
was, like, less than
stumble
24K or
on so many
and
words.
He was so focused, like he went down like 12 times in comparison to like what Deeks had gone down 9. Skier did go down 11 times. Invisiwoman issues when it comes to dealing with also like Venom, and then Jitward's also in your backline, jumping on your forehead with Duelist Pool, but also with the Spider-Man. I think trying to focus, if you want to run the Gambit strat, you have to make sure that Kendrick has also some healing because there's only so much before you're forced to use those ability cooldowns.
Yeah, and I also love how they start with Strap Pool to try to get some of those upgrades, so when they go to Duelist Pool, they have
I
less
don't
of a
know
tough
what to
time. I
pick,
think
by
it's-
the way.
It's a really unique and cool idea to just kind of
Are you
farm
upstairs?
experience, essentially, for his RPG-like elements.
Oh.
Switch over to that Duelist Pool once
Talking
you're
to
already
myself.
beefy, and then just run lobbies. And Jitward does that so well. I mean, better than anyone we've seen in this tournament or in this series as a whole. So shout out there. Very cerebral, very different, very cool. And I'm looking forward to more of it as we head to Museum of Contemplation. I mean, last time we saw this map was last night at the very last series, Vicky, and that was nutty. Do you think it'll happen again?
Yes, I guess you think is what we mentioned too, Shib. I mean, even in my own personal experience, it's a really hard map when you're starting on the attack to even get that payload to the finish
I don't know
line.
what to get, though.
But
I don't know if
we saw it happen like twice from both sides, right? And it was so close, down to the wire, all the way into overtime, where the only advantage that one side had was an additional 14 seconds. But it seemed those 14 seconds was more than enough to recontest and actually end up winning that map just yesterday too. So I think when it comes down to starting things off, depending on what side these teams are starting on, expecting, okay, well, I don't think we're gonna see
Drive
the
safely,
Spider-Man
though.
anymore. And if we do,
Yo,
we may
Hales,
see that
brother,
triple Vanguard
Hales.
lineup like we
You
have seen in the
gotta
past.
chill, bro.
Yeah.
You
It's a shame. I'm
gifted,
very
you
excited
stole
about the
first
Super
place
Spider-Man.
of the week.
Unfortunately, they were
106
guys for
total
them,
gifted
but
subs, bro.
I do have to
Hales.
compliment both of
I
these
appreciate
teams
the
on
massive
quick
20 gifted subs, my
adaptations
friend.
in-game.
Absolutely
I feel like
insane.
there were a lot of
Look what
moving
Emily made.
pieces, and the teams played extremely reactionary, both really coming into this.
Emily
doing
made a
their-
little
having done
platter
their
with
homework
cookies.
with a very clear game plan, and also with a
And
very clear idea on what to
those
expect on the
biscuits
other
from
side
Ted
there. So
Lasso.
I very much hope we get another close map here in our map 2. First one was about as close as it gets, really.
Yeah, I think they just want the title of which team can dive better, right? As we can see right now, the standing Nightmare up 1 against Yeah We Lost, heading in to our
Yes,
next
S-Boy,
map,
appreciate the
Museum
massive
of
prime sub, my friend. Welcome,
Contemplation
welcome.
dive,
Hails, though.
very
Appreciate
much
it, appreciate it.
available. Let's see how it looks.
Thank
Let's see how we're
you.
going to be contemplating these pick and ban phases too, right? I know it's also very very good representation. I'm wearing my It's Jeff shirt out here, and I got this at a Tokyo pop-up shop. I had some messages asking me about it, and it was on brand. What we saw
How's
for
Team
that
Liquid
first
doing in
map.
Overwatch if you
Not
went
too sure
back?
if we're gonna keep
Are they doing
seeing the
well?
Jeff, although we could keep seeing the different strategies line up depending on how these pick and bans go. No Daredevil, no Gambit. Now from the side of Yeah We Lost to make sure that Nightmare cannot run that together.
Yeah, there is some off-map potential on point 1 and 2, and even 3 at some weird spots. So we could see the Jeff, but yeah, I'm not 100% sure.
Now
what
we're
it's gonna
seeing
look like.
normal
I don't think
bans.
we're going to see the Strange ban out again. I think that was more so for
Now,
domination. But you
now
know
we
what?
are
With these
seeing
two
normal
teams,
bans.
who knows, as we see the lock-in here of Elsa and the removal of Gambit. No surprise there.
obviously, since we're going on to that convoy, it's important to note that if we do end up going to a game number 3, that means we will, no matter what, see convergence as we go through our different game modes here. The Elsa Ditto is out though, Shib, and it was interesting to see the double Elsa ban because we've been seeing at least one team kind of get away with it. That's why you mentioned how it's very rare to see that go down all the way to the very end, but we get to see the Elsas protected here, and now we're gonna linger with no Mantis. You don't want to have that damage boost on top of the Elsa.
Yeah, and if damage boost gets through, it just enables a bunch of different compositions. Folks at this level, for those who maybe don't know as you're climbing ladder, really take advantage of that damage boost from Mantis. Not only does it enable new breakpoints for combinations to take out the backline, or
Yo, Hales, if you want a cookie, I'll give you one.
Get ult even quicker, and that's the idea and the advantage of Mantis, who also is very aggro in that neutral. It can find value in just on her own damage, as we see now the removal of Daredevil and the lock-in of Vanguard pool. Pretty deep up there for the side of Nightmare, but Mace found a ton of success with it last time.
Oh, and yeah, we lost. Noted. All right, no Jeffy. They don't want to deal with that. There's a lot of verticality, a lot of different spots that you could hold if you do end up rolling out on the Jeff. Well, they saved the Jeff for themselves. Tankful saved up, though, for a Nightmare, so that's another little peek to see if we're going to have that triple Vanguard lineup rolled up, because Nightmare is starting on the defense. That is what I'm honestly expecting to see what this final ban's going to be.
The removal of Strat Pool is very targeted, and
that knows
just
Spanish,
that, again,
till Lissandro,
have that advantage once they start with Strat. That's a really smart and just
we don't have any mods that I think do. Can someone tell them English only? Because we can't moderate other languages. Yeah, at least I can't.
Early on, not having all those abilities prepared. Very, very cool look here as we start up our Museum of Contemplation. You can see what they're floating right now, but they don't always land on these pigs.
I don't know, Mace was saying that, you know, the pick and ban phase is going to look a little weird, but this actually, I like this look right now because, we lost. They noted how important, like, that Jeff was, too, for themselves, especially on a map like this. And they are able to protect it, and Nightmare being able to answer back onto making sure that
I don't want that person to be confused.
Considering you do usually see that triple strat lineup.
Yeah, I'm with you. This is far more.
The only thing I know is donde estás, biblioteca
of Ignite. I mean, definitely going to see Mantis. Just for folks who maybe didn't know, in past Ignite, in terms of most bans, Mantis was up there at the top 2. Human Torch above that when he was just running the meta for a while. You know, we saw a little bit of Torch in EU today, and he actually kind of ran the lobby. Ended up winning there in EU on Central Park. So maybe that will come back into fold, especially when Ultron is in the mix. But we'll see if that ever comes into fruition today as the games develop. But I'll tell you what, it's not happening right now as Cart already takes off on Hulk. Is that going to be an immediate switch?
Oh, he rolled. I said, sorry. Yeah, definitely not. He saw, honestly, he saw the Elsa, was like, okay.
I think this is going to be a close game, chat. YWL fight back. I don't think you're going to be worried about that. I think this game is going to be really close.
As Zaytex finds Mace first.
Yeah, I think this is going to be really close. I think
some value early on, had a huge ultimate at the end with the Dance of the Butterfly, almost clutch.
Oh shit, yeah, my bad.
Mask and Kendrick again are going to find a two-piece in Kendrick.
Like this. YWL just came out of spawn and deleted.
I'm going to be wearing my
deleted the other team that fast.
The second map. Sticking to the tradition, Jitward says, no strat pool necessary. I got the duelist pool instead. Trying to make it work here as Cart is getting set up into position, expecting Nightmare to go through this choke to the left.
All right, you can see here, Emma getting some play already. Early tackle there, going to allow the diamond form to be matched right back, this time from Rogue. And the point's already just an absolute mayhem right now as back and forth they go. Hiding in this back corner, allowing the strategist to buy more time. The retake comes through. Monster going to apply more pressure this time. Monster actually going to be on that Van Pool. The flexibility of this team already being shown here.
Wait, did he get anyone? I wish they kind of showed us the guy's ult, but...
And already takes a selfie.
That's big too because
Jitward doing work on the DPS, bro.
And look how close Skier was to that invisible boundary.
Yo, Ashton, appreciate the massive new tier 1 sub, my friend.
For the very end right there. Good.
Absolutely insane. Appreciate it. Zoe is not a caster, chat, just like in Overwatch. She is a host.
Since they lost that point early,
hosts
they're going to portal very close here to ensure that they
usually are not casters.
Like they stalled point 1. It's what you want to see as you're climbing ladder, folks, and this is why Strange is so impactful and why you don't typically
Cozy can do both.
Whoever goes down early makes that switch. Portals right on to the point and you act like they didn't even take point one. Out goes the match here from Skier. The match right back, again with the invisible boundary, the Venn diagram, as both teams are just duking it out but staying healthy at the same time. Down goes 1, 2, 3. As you see, yeah, we lost. Sweep the entirety of Nightmare.
Yes.
Imagine if Light had the board
A host
again,
usually
the passive,
has the conversation flowing when they're looking at the desk and, you know, keeps the story going. The casters do play-by-plays, they cast, they give you the analytics.
Swapping over to the Hulk, as we lost really have not stopped.
Whatever, you know what I mean.
Yeah, the switches are coming through. Light going to be on that Wolverine vision.
How much do they get paid?
And set the tone a little bit.
That's a great question, bro. I think that's a great question to ask them. And if they don't want to answer that, they probably don't want to.
On those heroes, as we see Mace, now he's making the switch over to the Van Pool, and Monster is also changing, like we talked about that Hulk. A huge ultimate here with the Glartron.
Hey, appreciate it, Simon.
The mask finding one, and once more up in numbers is Nightmare.
We're moving over to the left side, though. Zinx, once again, trying to get that copy before trying to recontest here, too, with we lost having that advantage. And that's 2 out. Jitward sent back to the spawn room gates means that this is going to be a full reset for we lost. But keep your eyes, though, on Kendrick. He does have the It's Jeff. May want to try to help out.
Natty, appreciate the massive, or Matt, yeah, appreciate the massive new tier 1 sub, my friend. Appreciate it. And Ashton, appreciate the massive new tier 1 sub as well.
And again goes the commitment, protecting that backline. Everybody going to be looking at Cart, but still staying healthy, and that's just what Venom does. Zaytex trying to take an off angle very low, but is able to make his way through it with some of that overhealth. Vision going to find one there, but the Glartrox gets Vision. Vision able to escape right back, and that's a huge counter right there from Skier with that invisible boundary. Great play there as Xantho now finds one. Do we see more? These teams, again, just so much back and forth, so much talent, and so much chaos in this comp, as Hulk is just destroying Rogue.
Ayúdame! Mask needs help. Even got the stun. Says, no, don't worry. Get down, Mr. President.
There's
Kendrick
no
saves the
way,
day.
bro.
And off to the spawn room gates he goes here. Oh, unfortunate. And that's going to be a big stagger, too, if you really think about it.
Can't moderate it,
Emily.
Emily.
Down Monster entirely.
Yeah, and then you got to lose your entire Hulk form, then you transform to Bruce, and then you lose your HP again. It just buys more time just naturally because it was Hulk. As we see Light able to find one there, protecting that backline against Zaytex. Once more, Nightmare regains positioning on this point. Looking over to Jitward, who's just up in the sky all over the place. So difficult to keep eyes on this duelist pool. And as I say that, Light says not for long. Goodbye to Jitward.
Jitward plays Deadpool like so comically accurate too, right? It's like catch me if you can, and there's like comes Light as we see the fastball.
Dude, I am loving this Wolverine
like composition that I was wondering
Hulk team up.
We were going to be able to see a lot more often from our preseason Ignite teams, and now this is going to be one of the few with Nightmare just trying to see if they could find a kidnap here.
Oh, and out goes the Glartrox from Vision. Gonna walk away as far as possible.
Oh no! I mean, he got a kill, but I don't think that was like the best ult that he could probably done.
One trades right back, and that's gonna be on Skier though, which is big value as Skier was close to that invisible boundary. Target prio on targets in the backline that almost have their ultimates are even more valuable, and that's why ult tracking is so important at this level. We see the fastball once more, which is just going to be a free dash. Goodbye to Cart.
Everybody focused him. The backwards heal right there.
Poor fucking Venom, bro. Oh, Alan! Appreciate the massive prime sub.
A bit staggered. They have some extra time because here in the second checkpoint in the Museum of Contemplation.
Welcome, my friend. Yes, also, chat, gifting subs and subbing on your phone is more expensive because you're paying the iOS or the Apple fees. I think doing it on a computer or subbing on a computer or even buying bits on a computer is a lot cheaper. This is a heads up.
Skier and Dinks and both strategists going down there is just a testament to how good Jitward can be on this hero. Cart able to find Light, and now we lost is heavily up in numbers 2 here for this fight with heavy pressure advantage. Alt advantage though going to be staying in.
Hey, appreciate it, Alan. Appreciate it. Yeah, if you are going to support someone, make sure you do it on a computer.
The Heartbreaker, Zaytex having to send the Glartrox over to the other side. Everybody was funneled in that right room to brute force their way to recontest. Here comes the dive though, and it's gonna be Light to turn things around. Finds 2, but there's not enough bodies from Nightmare's side to stay alive.
I feel like these fights are a little messy.
To jump on their foreheads to get a nice 2K.
That is crazy. Light with a huge ult there. Honestly, thought it was going to buy them enough time to retake.
These fights seem very, very, very messy. J3, how old are you? I just turned 22.
Not a lot of time on the clock here, folks. And if you've played on this map before,
yeah,
these contemplation, you know this final point. You've got
it's like a team deathmatch out here.
And I don't mean a zone outside of the float. I mean on top of the float. It can get even more difficult to push.
It's like a water park sometimes when you find yourself in a different position, though. The invisible boundary from Santos. You currently see Light trying to get into position after making a quick little swap up onto that Namor, finding some problems here. Monster's gonna be able to survive, get into that monster hold form, gets a reset. Vision then finds the Rogue, and that's double Vanguards out from YWL.
Yo, Hales, come on, man.
Yeah, this is what they're looking for here. They're going to hold them tight.
Hales again with another 20 gifted subs. Absolutely insane. Hales, bro. Absolutely crazy, but you gotta stop. Absolutely insane. I appreciate it.
To keep Zaytex up even through that ultimate.
Kendrick said, I'll be part of the water park too here. He's getting that piercing healing and damage from the backline uncontested as Light tries to get set up with these Namor squids. Needs some help before backing away. Looking back to at Skier, who's close to that invisible boundary. Take a look because that's what we lost want to prioritize with Kendrick having the itch check waiting for it.
Card has not moved at all. Both teams just duking it out over here right near the spawn door.
What do you mean ungrateful? I said I appreciate it, but you saved your money. Hales again with the gifted sub. Appreciate it. Wait, didn't I just show? Oh, that's a big lord. Oh, that's big, Chad. That's big. And they left the Hulk in the back. Ooh. Oh, that's a big one from the other team, though. It doesn't look like it got any kills.
Light, and are you joking? Red and blue back and forth.
With Vision now coming back around and Deep's getting stunned here, having to back away. It was from Cart's hand who also.
How is YWL winning this though? It just doesn't
have planted their feet here back on this point.
Like these fights are so messy, bro. It looks like it's going Nightmare's way, then it goes YWL's way, then it goes back to Nightmare's way, then YWL won the fight. Oh! That Hulk bounce and then juggle and then like slam on that support. Holy shit! Yo, created for 31 months. Appreciate it, my friend. How you doing? Hope you're having a great day.
Fantastic from Light, but I don't think that will last long. Mace able to find one, but again, the whole team of Yeah We Lost is keeping this cart moving.
The old call out though onto Dinks when he tries to use a God of Mischief to get the copy and then get stunned in the process was so difficult. Nice sniper stun, by the way, over to the back before you see Kendrick try to rejoin with the rest of his team, but they cannot get off this point with a crumb left of overtime. Cart tries to cut off their only exit point.
Good idea there. They're now engaging from two different positions. When you have Jitward behind, you can see in the flank. Oh, Mace tries to land a huge...
Wait, I'm actually really surprised he didn't see that guy, like, go up in the air. That was a really obvious play. He was right in front of him, too. I'm surprised he didn't save his push for that, but instead he tried to push someone else.
In this moment, they do not want to lose this early into Nightmare. They want to make this a 1-1 series, but can they get it to point 3? Skier with some insane position.
Oh my god, this guy got in a horrible position, but thank god no one died, I think.
Some value on the strategist, not able to do just that, except for Light finds the pick now onto Mask.
Light says you could ban out the Daredevil, but I'm back here. Excuse
me.
At home too.
My bad. Akito, appreciate that as a Akito, appreciate that as a prime sub.
Stop Jitward. Jitward tried to make something happen by harassing the backline. Santos is going to be the next to go out, and yeah, we lost.
That's a good push, though. Hey,
to the end, but with no bodies to touch, they only get it
that. Hey, that is a very, very good push to do.
There for the defense, still a great push there from Yeah We Lost. Going into overtime, just barely, you know, very early on there on point 3 on that whole street space. So shout out to them making it through all the way, and shout out even more to Nightmare switching up the composition and finding something that works as we see Light with that change. We saw Fantastic at one point. We saw the Star-Lord. Monster was on the Hulk. A bunch of stuff was changed up, but they were able to find a way to shut them down.
It looks like the wild card of different heroes that we saw from our first map, Shib. It continues to bleed into the second map. I mean, talk about a juggle circus.
I love the
too,
museum
the
map. It's so
plays
dumb.
that we're
I like
seeing.
this map.
People are able to find Jitward.
They need to change the third point.
Spider-Man, even though it didn't really get that much.
Not the map
very
itself. They need to
there,
change
but
the
it was
cart.
Nightmare, who
Listen.
also had Light swap at such
Wait.
a good opportunity. He reset
Emily?
the ultimate over to that 50% mark, but then was able to get that.
Yo,
Galactic
Emily.
Legend so
Emily
fast.
is just shooting people out here left and
that
right.
Black and
Oh
White
my
was
god.
massive, too. You saw it was a 3-piece, and then
Jesus.
the final pick was
I
down
do
to
like
10
I do
HP
like to
before he
answer
gets
you,
picked off. So no
ZZZ
matter what,
Fighter.
Val
I
was
do
there,
like the
and
map
it
though.
ended
They
up
need to
being a
change the
W
point.
that forced some people off the
Yo,
cart again.
Emily is
That
just
cart gets
shooting
stayed on
people
top
out here,
of
bro.
the tube there in order to keep it moving. So just big value.
God
It did work
damn,
out
she
in the end. The
says
question
she's
is,
like
was
Oprah
that
out here.
enough?
You
Did
get
they
a
stop
shot. You
soon
get a
enough
shot.
for Nightmare be able to push all 3 points?
She's laughing in
Find
the
out
other room
here, or will
too.
it just be a
Damn.
dream before,
She
we
shot
lost
you
our
and is
commitment to
laughing.
this Thor on defense.
My
Interesting.
bad,
I mean,
Z
we do
Fighter.
have that triple Vanguard setup though, with Sandstorm and Kendrick being on that strat line. Zaytex
My
has been
bad,
able to
my
pop
bad.
off. Mace already burned up on that bubble, trying to isolate them and their cutoff. We're also seeing Monster just trying to block out where We Lost want to jump through with these Groot walls. Uh-oh.
The off angle here from Jit. We're just waiting for the call, and that's called setting up for Dive, folks. A lot of people don't understand Dive has 2 phases. We see the commitment now from Mace, able to find Xantho, Light onto Kendrick, and the numbers are dwindling as Nightmare now is going to sweep the side of We Lost. We try to hold very aggro here right at the spawn, but not for too long.
Damn, Z Fighter's not even here.
And in the off angle, I do believe it's Jitward still holding on to hope that he might be able to retake when the team comes back.
We're still seeing the Thor, the Hulk as a team lineup. I mean, We Lost now. Having to see if they could try to recontest, because Jitward does have the ultimate online, trying to look behind them. There's still that one member that's right here isolated, trying to force out a stagger.
How is Jitward still okay? Zaytex finds one here. That's insane. As Jitward does fall, but at that point the numbers are even. He got value. The whole team had to turn around there, and the cart wasn't able to move too much. Usually, I don't think that's the greatest play, but Jitward made it work and held on to the hope that he was going to be able to stay healthy, even when everybody was looking at him after a pick came through. So shout out there. I can't believe that worked. As we
Playing
see
like a whole
retake.
different game.
Yeah.
Not only with the retake here, too, he stalled up for as long as possible, like you mentioned, and that gives a lot of time for the rest of We Lost to try to regroup together. Jitward will be able to come back just as quickly. Zaytex really close to the Apex Predator before Light finds the Thor. The Itch Chef comes out. A trade-off from both sides. Kendrick now uses the Itch Chef. Who did he take up, though? That's the question before Zaytex manages to bounce away and find Skier.
And we see a change in comp here as Monsters pulling out the Groot. The idea is to check their damage and see if they can burn some of these walls. Cart able to find one there.
Oh yeah, he is on tank pool this time though.
Will have ult advantage in this next fight, but they need to regroup down and
Wait.
over right now. See if they
Wait. I just realized something,
Looking
chat.
so messy here, though. Maybe trying to force out a lamp as the Hulk tries to dive back on the
Nightmare
backline.
banned
He's trying to help heal for that. The invisible
Deadpool. You
boundary
see
now
top
comes
right?
out, and rather
But that's not
aggressive,
tank
goes
Deadpool.
in with the Venn diagram
They
of both
banned
invisible
support
boundaries.
Deadpool.
Skier trying to
No,
back
Jitward
away.
is on
Monster
DPS
already used
Deadpool.
up that strangling prison, and
It looks like.
stops Cart from trying to get a reset.
Vision finding one here.
They banned support
Thunderland.
Deadpool.
Jitward goes down as Vision takes out another 2 numbers down for the moment. Nightmare.
No,
should
the
have
hand
ability to
is
move this
support.
forward as 3 fall. We see Zaytex able to take out Light. This
That-
on the
that
other
hand
side.
is
Looks like
support.
switch here, but the point is moving forward, and they're going to be able to wall this off for the meantime. Will they be able to get a touch here? 3 meters and counting. Yes, the portal comes through, and another battle will ensue. But you see Skier eyes behind, making sure not much can happen onto Xantho.
Wait, Suansu Violence, though, in the back while they're both trying to deal with their 1v1s now, but the rest of Nightmare has a sustain from deep because the God of Mischief had already been activated. Light rolls out now on that Spider-Man before trying to dive in. Skier gets the double KO, and that was with Skier trying to take control and the split focus from Santha from We Lost.
Uh-oh, Jitward's
Yeah, I
on
mean,
Spider-Man.
that was some really clean plays, some things to call out. You talked about
I mean,
that switch over to Spider-Man to get back to point quickly, but
Jitward
also
knows what he's
Monster
doing, bro.
remains
He
that
saw
forward,
the
sets
tier
up
list
the group,
chat.
puts
He
a
was
bunch of
like,
walls
holy
around,
shit.
places,
Oh, Light
takes
is
the
on
high
Spider-Man
ground. He
too.
does a ton
Wait,
of
both
neutral damage
teams
with those walls
are
around.
running
They
Spider-Man.
did not have the damage to be able to burst them down in that fight. They just couldn't focus those because they needed to worry about points. So good idea there with the Groot as we see the Ironwood wall get deleted immediately. Oh.
We are seeing it. We're seeing it. We're seeing the Spider-Man ditto. The Apex Predator,
That is so
though,
dumb,
is
bro.
at the top of the food
That-
chain
that-
because Zaytex has
As a
found three.
DPS
So
player,
Light,
I will
unfortunately,
say
got a
that
reset
ultimate
with the rest of his
ability
team and
is
said, "All right, you know
really
what?
stupid.
We heard it with some insider
Really
info,
dumb, bro.
Light may not want to go and try to match that, or it could have been Jitward that may not want to match with Light, but then forces Light now to go back over to the Mort so that way he can provide more value to his backline.
Yeah, the idea now is just to counter it, try to find a way to stop some of this dive. We talk about how Phoenix can do a good job of it, but very much Namor is in that conversation as well. You can see the way offside angle there of Kendrick, and that's what I'm talking about with this Jeff, healing through the duelist line of the opposition, healing your team and dealing damage at the same time. Light able to find Cart, though, and the Cart is moving now as we see Monster.
Why is nobody playing Iron Man, Jay?
The Groot. Now keeping eyes backward towards Kendrick, who's just living in that back line with ult available, by the way.
Monster's playing out of his mind, by the way. Like the group.
I think we saw one Iron Man before. Yeah, we saw an Iron Man today, but they lost for a little bit.
Contemplation tries to stop Cielsa though, moving back. Danto's very close to invisible boundary, but Kendrick tries to be the counter to Skier, who calls in their own invisible boundary. Not inside of it for now, but did get out of the.
Also, what was that invisible been doing in the back line over there?
And Monster could use the Wombo combo together with Light and the Horn of Proteus.
No, this is not whiskey, chat. I'm on the clock right now. This is tea.
Just slightly in favor of, yeah, we lost. Skier, though, with that first pick is huge. Jitward did have ult available, but as Spidey-Mans like to say, he will be back fast. So you just kind of tune it out of your brain because you know they will be there shortly. A huge whale going to land right on a Card who goes down to about 5 HP and is gone now. Monster with a huge ultimate here. The Strangling Prison going to
nice play. Only got one, though. Should be enough to win the fight.
At this point, it's still in favor of Nightmare. Can they keep this up in the boundary? Clark goes out. This could be massive, fighting two, but the wall.
No way, bro.
Is it enough? Yes, the
no.
Oh! Mask one on to Dinks and Mace onto Xantho, and once
wait, Jitward is on the Spider-Man now, but the other DPS mask is on the.
There's only so much one group
is on the tank pool.
Insane, but
wait, that's still.
He had 99 wood cutting, so he takes them down in one sweep.
Yeah, this is insane. I cannot believe that retake right there from Yeah, we lost. Being down heavy in numbers, commitment came through from Nightmare. In terms of ultimates, nobody has ults available yet. Kendrick and Vision going to be the closest. We know how. Will
we ever see a shotgun Punisher in pro play? That's a great question, man. I have no idea. The guy who does do the shotgun Punisher. Oh, nice shot, bro. The guy who does do the shotgun Punisher, I think, does play competitively, but I don't know if he's in MRI. I know he does MRC.
That was so worth it, though.
Nice shot. This guy. Oh my God! Nice shot. Ew.
Now here comes Zatex. Also, server admin is here to play. Looking back, playing around the other side of that bubble, and there's only so much stall time you can provide before Light tries to portal in overtime.
Wow, and we have ourselves a 1-1 here.
Chat, we're going to a map 3. First game of NA, and we're already going to a match 3. And I want to say, I think three out of the 5 games for EMEA were game 3s. So, hey, we're eating well today.
We won, bringing us to this game 3 in our first match of the day.
Today.
When we closed out day number 1 just yesterday, we were talking about this. We knew that day number 2 was an opening banger, and we got it. Game number 3.
Good play, good play.
2-0s go down just yesterday into that last series. It's provided us
Vision is disgusting, though. Look at him, dude. 38 and 8, 21 final hits, 36,000 damage. Vision is disgusting. Also, I want to say Zatex, that guy is really good as well.
Eliminations, 4 finals, 48k healing on the Jeff. The next closest being 39. I mean, that is strong play.
Yeah, yesterday's games weren't really that good. I think I had a lot of fun yesterday shooting the shit with you guys, but the games were very, I think, boring. All of the games were 2-0, 2-0, 2-0. The only team that was good was the 100 Thieves game, which was the last game of the day that ended up actually being like a tied game, 1-1, but then 100 Thieves lost. That was a great game. All the games today have been like really close.
Really helped enable the disruption onto Nightmare, despite how close
Vision's triceps are bigger than Jay's.
The series goes on, everybody. Don't go anywhere, because on the other side of this break, we got game number 3 for our first series.
Is it? I got tricep. What do you mean looks like a peanut? I don't look like a peanut. Oh, old man. man strength. Ah! Ah! That one. Don't pull a muscle. Bro, I got out of my chair to go to the bathroom earlier and I pulled my groin. Bro, I'm old, man. Yo, where's my, is there anyone in my chat that's over the 30 plus club, bro? Where's the people that can relate to me? Oh shit, wait, did someone ruin my ping message for that?
The Jeff
Walked
it's
into
Jeff,
the steam
they had
room.
2 waves of security. Yeah, we lost
Butt
on top of
ass
everything.
naked.
They had the first layer of the onion where if they ended up pulling off the portal, they were able to get the It's Jeff off.
And
If they
he
didn't pull
was
off the portal,
shaving
well, guess what? It was canceled
his
instead
balls
because I think Xanthos wanted his time
and
to
his
shine,
and his
I
groin
believe
area.
canceled the
Yeah, in my
portal.
LA
I
Fitness.
was looking over to the right side to see if it was
He
maybe
was
Discord,
shaving
but,
his
you know,
balls
the
and his
Invisible Women's
groin
League coming out to
in.
play when it's their
This
time
is
to
this is
shine.
a
They wanna
true
be the ones to
story.
sit on
My
the
LA
driver's
Fitness
seat,
actually
maybe
shut
have
down.
their own spotlight here, Shib.
He was
But it
shaving
a
his
very
balls
enjoyable
and his
game,
groin
still very
in the
unorthodox
steam room.
composition, so I'm kind
And the
of
reason he
understanding
did that,
what
he
May
actually got
said when
arrested.
he said, this is going to be an
The reason he did that is because he said
Yeah, I
How
mean,
did you
each
feel
team
about the
fight.
bans, though?
it
Yeah,
exfoliates
bans
the
were
skin.
good. I like the
Exfoliates.
removal, or honestly, that was unique. The removal
So it's
of the
it's a
strap pull
closer
was
shave.
definitely
He said
something
that.
you know,
He
that was
actually got
definitely
arrested.
targeted, right towards, we lost it clearly. Didn't work for
Florida,
him. They still ended up going with
Miami,
Duelist Pool, so I think the idea in the
24-hour
future, if they're gonna
gyms.
do that, maybe just get rid of Duelist Pool. But hey, I don't know. Maybe
No,
that's
it was
a
not me.
downside
I
there
actually
for
enjoyed the
Nightmare,
show.
but Yeah, outside of that,
I took
removal of
pictures.
Gambit across the board is pretty consistent.
No, but
more
he actually-
Daredevil. That's
he
all
did
the right
get-
play, but again, I
he
think
did
if
get
you
arrested.
Just pick something else besides that strap pull ban. Maybe it goes in your favor, but I'm sure we'll see in a moment if they do just that.
He said it
exfoliated
why am I exfoliated his skin?
Nightmare, they were switching things up heavily to stop. Yeah, we lost on their attack run there, and it really just came down to those last-minute switches in overtime.
And you ban
with
random
Light
people.
like going over to that Star-Lord to make it work for.
Oh, that's
Nightmare.
why my pin message was gone.
Yeah, I don't know, man. This is such a coin toss. Like, if you'd asked me to give you preds for this,
You did?
I don't know who's coming out on top. I think they're very evenly matched.
Yeah, and I was saying, like, the team fights, they're just, you know, a lot of times in Ignite, when teams are still feeling each other out, they'll play front to back, more front to back, and even with Dive, you'll see more setup. But with these two teams,
Brent
it is
smells like
just
fish.
like a mosh pit. Everybody is going after each other, full committing 24/7. And I mean, you can see their observers even try to keep track of everything going on. There's just so much going on. The only, like, bit of consistency we saw was when Monster went over to Groot to slow things up a little bit and try to just shut down some of these LOSs that the backline had. And even then, there was just still Jitward a mile away in the back corner, and they were chasing him. It's just, these teams, man, are so coordinated, so unique. It is a ton of fun to watch.
Are you going to the gym soon?
And a Monster, by the way, a huge standout for me.
No. Go first. Oh, you're feeling good. Hard Stuck Gladish gifted 10 subs on YouTube. Absolutely insane, my friend. Appreciate it.
I am, however, disappointed, not angry, but a little bit disappointed that.
And Wolfie, appreciate the massive 8 months, my friend. How you doing? Proja, appreciate the massive prime sub. I don't know if I said that.
Like, why? Why would you do that? We had it for a second there.
Yeah.
I was waiting for it,
Absolutely
so, yeah, I wanted to
insane.
see it.
Hard
I
Stuck,
know
I
everybody
appreciate it,
at
my
home
friend. You're
wanted
too
to see it
kind. You're too
too,
kind.
but They wanted to see if they could maybe change.
Okay,
things
chat,
up
let's get
because
this.
Jitward, although he was going crazy, that backline needed some help, Chib.
Yeah, I mean, that's the tricky part of running any sort of strategist into a dive composition. A lot of the time we joke about the Animal Crossing backline, right? You go that Rocket, you go that Jeff, but it's not because they're quote unquote the best dive strategists. It's because they can just hold on to their lives a little bit longer before they just get chased down and get taken out on the KO feed. But we are diving into the ban phase now, and off the rip again, removing some of that dive potential. Goodbye to Daredevil.
Thank you, Eisen.
Okay, Shin Shibuya. I did ask about this map. That was one of the questions that I really wanted to highlight.
Shin
Like, when we see
Shibuya.
Shin
A
Shibuya
lot
on
of
Saturday,
teams are actually going
thinking
here
about
for the
it?
third map.
Probably not. We're here.
A lot
for
of
Shin
teams are
Shibuya,
actually
so we
going
gotta
here for
have
the
some
third map,
plans
bro.
Up our sleeves with the Gambit being protected from Nightmare's side. So a different outlook here.
Okay, let's
now
get
that
this,
they can
chat.
have the Gambit unleashed.
Yeah,
Last
I think that's
match
something that worked for
of
them.
this
Obviously, map
series.
one,
This
we're
is
gonna
map
see,
3.
what it looks
Tied
like
1-1.
now. We're going to see the removal of likely Gambit here, if not Elsa. Yep, so it is going to be Elsa instead.
Happens a
And we
lot at
know
my
that
gym. It's
there
always
will be
old
a
guys
heavy
that do it,
lock-in of
looking
that
at
Elsa
streamer.
likely on
Okay,
their
first of
side.
all,
If
wait,
they
you
can
actually
work
had
that,
an
but again,
incident
these
like that?
teams
That's
have their
wild.
unique stuff. So some of the stuff I'm
Appreciate
used
the
to
massive
calling
donut,
here
J
for
Hat.
this
That's
outside
crazy.
Of the Elo, yeah, it's going to be a Gambit lock. So another decent pick there for them, trying to match that right back, which means we
The
might see Loki
schedule,
removal
I
to
don't have
tier
any of the
2
schedule or
those
anything pinned,
gambling,
chat.
charges the Raging Royal Flush, but we'll see in a moment.
I'm excited though, because if we do get to see the Gambit, you could only imagine the Magneto and Rogue team up too that could follow. This is one of the best maps, by the way, for Daredevil. So for any of you guys watching at home that may get away with running a Daredevil in your own respective rank games, well, this is definitely a map to do it if it doesn't get
There's no way
auto-banned.
he-
But
I
usually
don't
end
think
up
we've
seeing
ever seen
Daredevil
a,
banned no matter what, whether it be
I don't think we've
in
ever
the
saw
NRI
Blade, chat.
or
There's no
back
way
at
he
home
plays
where you
Blade.
guys play, but the Rogue
There's
is
no
the
way.
next one to get out. Also wondering here if you're gonna have to be
Wait,
forced
your
to
Punisher
ban
clip
out
is
the
gonna live
Magneto,
rent-free in my
because
head for a
Magneto
while? Which
also
Punisher
just
clip?
deals so much of that damage output too with that team up.
Yeah, I like the Magneto team up for sure. I don't think it's as valuable as Rogue. We are going to see the removal of Vanpool. I do think that's not a bad decision there from We Lost. Nightmare just loves to run that hero. Honestly, so does every team in Ignite. Just an incredibly strong hero in the current meta. The removal now of Elsa deep into the banning phase. Again, definitely different than what we've seen in the past, but these teams don't run traditional stuff. And that's why I don't even think, even if Loki gets through, we're going to see the Loki, the double Raging Royal Flush.
From
because these
earlier
teams just
today.
don't really
Which,
need
what
to
did I
run
do
it.
earlier
It
today,
doesn't
chat?
find as much value, even though I do think there's a lot of high LOSs for Loki, a lot
remember
of
doing anything.
escapability. This is the kind of his map to find success.
Are you talking
It's
about for
also
my
very
quick
much a
play? I
lane
don't think
focused
I
map,
did
so
anything
Chat,
crazy.
which has been locked in here from We Lost, is getting value, and once again will be seen.
I like that you bring that up, right? We had that in our interview just yesterday after Energy had popped off. You know, you got to watch out for that Loki sometimes. And Loki on this map, aside from Daredevil, is also just so good at taking different angles. But it's a Jeff Protect from Yeah We Lost. They want to keep enabling Kendrick. It's the Jeff, I have to say it, Shib.
Yeah, and there is going to be that lock of Rogue, and I'm excited to have eyes on that. I get to see a little bit of the value of that team up that we've been talking about. You'll see those AoE pulses of damage, especially in these dive formats. She can be such a problem. It has so much escapability and a bunch of different cooldowns just for movement, so hard to keep eyes on. You see light floating now, the blade. I don't think that'll be a pick that's going to come through, but does play well with, you know, a Groot ultimate in the current meta. You can see Jitward floating the Panther. I would love to see some of this stuff, but we'll see what they actually select as they come out of the spawn door in a moment.
I love this. This has been an entirely different game, honestly, Shave. Like, just the best banger that you could try to open up the day with for anybody trying to see what their pick'ems are looking like, what the meta is looking like. Even in an interview that we had, Justin and Mia, our player was just basically talking about how a lot of these teams across all these different regions are kind of still finding their footing within the current meta. And remember, everybody at home, this is before the Fox buff. So they are playing on the patch right before that. So we're going to be seeing a completely different look for the teams that may find more of that comfortability in rocking that Fox going into next weekend's matches.
Yeah, Fox's
Wait, what is this?
balance patch has really enabled her to be a huge problem. Already, Fox does a great job in dueling various dive duelists. For example, like Matt Murdock. I mean, can just be one of the very few strategists in the game that actually can win a 1v1 due to the nature of having that melee form, which constantly gives her healing and is actually enough to outpower the damage from Daredevil, which is a rare thing in the game right now. So just shows the power of this character. Also can make huge plays. Like we saw yesterday, Valentina had a couple picks in the neutral with the character playing aggro and just diving with your front line, like we'll see here in a moment.
What is this?
With Cart on that Hulk. The counter portal comes through.
They killed a Jeff through the portal? Oh my god. We saw that yesterday against 100 Thieves, actually. Oh my god, against Vinny. Oh my god.
Hold back Nightmare, and as they fall like a line of dominoes, that game plan is put to rest with a 3-minute cooldown on a Doctor Strange portal and a stagger.
Holy shit. Sorry, I was tagged on a YouTube video. What is this?
Moment to find Monster there. 3 minutes and 22, still plenty of time. A lot of the times, folks, when you are attacking this map, you're going to break the left side structure of the walls and actually attack from around these buildings and not down that alleyway. That alleyway gives the defense such a strong side. As you see them breaking the walls now, like we were just discussing.
Wait, what is this? I got tagged into something. What is this?
Because again, you're in such a disadvantageous position if you're attacking right down the center. Now the commitment's going to be right at the spawn door, though. Is there going to be value there? Is Cart and Jitward able to find two right at the doors? And that is some serious commitment as light now.
I do like it, bro. Oh my god. I do like the Spider-Man play, bro. I like how ballsy it is. The reason I am liking YWL is because they're doing these off-meta picks, chat. Something that you don't see,
Nightmare is the one that
like,
wanted to try to go
ever.
into Shibuya for this last map, as they did lose out on that previous second map against Yeah We Lost, and they're really struggling and forcing their way through this choke, with Mason needing to swap over to the Angela, trying to get disruptive and trying to harass his backline.
Yeah, more commitment now as everybody is on point. You see Dinks in a great position here with Gambit holding this high side, just protecting now the back line and keeping Jitward away just barely. His Light's able to find one once more. Nightmare now looking up at Mask, says not up in here, and gets rid of Monster. A huge eye potential, doesn't seem to land though. And that's from Kendrick on the retake. See now, there's not going to be any portal cooldowns, so they were both committed early on.
What did Jay just make us listen to? Nah, there was a creator who made a YouTube video, and I was like, oh, okay, that's cool.
But it gets shielded by Hulk. What a play!
Wait, whoever this spectator is, we couldn't even see the point. Okay.
Looking at all the chaos and disruptors happening right below.
That was an ad that I clicked on the YouTube video.
Well, now I gotta reset here. Let's see if I can even get back over to the spawn room gates. Mace, though, has provided a lot more, despite, you know, the Heaven's Retribution unfortunately not landing its mark, thanks to Cart just having godlike reaction. Has not been able to really find that disruption, but has found some signs of life in trying to go in together. And Nightmare have these 5 ultimates online to follow up with this Rage and Royal Flush.
The Gambit advantage begins, and the idea now is to find Invis. Mask able to take out Dinks instantly, is going to get rid of that ultimate, though. Are you kidding me? We see Zaytex find Mace. Vision, Light, though, are going to be able to find 2. Is that going to be enough? Can they clean this up? Out goes the It's Jeff now, but nobody lands. Skier likely using that to just escape in the moment, to try to avoid a little bit of the damage, but is getting chased here by Strange and Jitward now.
Right.
Who made the switch already.
No, Nightmare stands for...
On the strap pool. I just made an
Well,
assumption. It was incorrect.
isn't
now.
it's
Down goes
Nightmare.
the Feast the Abyss. 1,700 HP. What a land there.
Think,
I
don't think it...
to find another, and down goes Skier. 40 seconds in counting.
There's no way, bro.
This is like my worst nightmare. This is like seeing my sleep paralysis demon play
Oh
out
my
right before
God,
my eyes,
dude.
and it is in the form of Jitward Spider-Man.
Bro,
now you
just...
wonder, okay, what are the changes that Nightmare needs to do, because this isn't working out. Their backline is literally getting terrorized.
Yeah, I mean, Dink's just over a little
Bro,
too hard there with the
I feel like
flush.
YWL strat is to never let the enemy know your next move. Chat, technically speaking, how can a team prepare for you if you don't even prepare yourself? So if you do whatever you want, like how does the enemy team know what you're doing when you don't even know what you're doing? Think about it.
Less than 2 seconds to go, though. They got to recontest here. Have to force it into overtime. Kendrick does have the Eye of Agamotto already on that Doctor Strange, just in case, but it's ticking away.
There's no way they see 9.
On the point. They make it with the Angela. The
Oh, he missed. He missed this. Oh, no. He hit him. He hit him.
Dinks needs to wait to get this Ranger Royal Flush, but he won't see the light of day to have it into fruition. The Jeff meets its maker. Backs down to the lobby as YWL are clearing this point and holding their feet on this
support Deadpool with a DPS Spider-Man. Wow, Spider-Man's only DPS.
Defense Nightmare just kind of crumbling after certain conditions. There were times where they were up in numbers.
Bro.
But somehow, YWL was able to retake point and ensure it was not capped. What a bunch.
You guys are saying we want the game's not over until it's over, chat.
Now has to attack. One thing to highlight there is Nightmare just kind of kept...
the game's not over until it's over.
But it was broken. They didn't fix it. They just kept walking it right down the same main line and losing somebody early. And then Jitward had free reign on the back line while everybody was committing on point. It was like they tried to drive them back into the arcade, but weren't able to get any value. And if they did, somebody traded for it. So at that point, it was even. I don't know. I think they needed to break that left side like they did initially and try to just slow things up and play at range, but elected to not just do that, as we will see now if YWL can perform a little bit better.
Yeah, I gotta echo that, Shiv, because that's the most difficult part when it comes to Shin Shibuya. Yes, this is our new map within the MRI, but obviously a map that has been within Marvel Rivals
Oh my
for,
God,
the
dude.
beginning here, and it's really difficult to get through that choke, and that's what really forces a lot of teams to have to start changing up their strategy. Where can you go? Try to split more of that attention. Go through these buildings here too. Jitward split most of that attention away from the team, and guess what? Nightmare, they're switching things up at least this time around on the defense because they got Dinks on the low-key.
Yeah, and shout out to the huge plays. We obviously saw the bubble there from Cart on defense, the frame perfect bubble like you were talking about, but then he was also just following up on a lot of that dive and getting picks onto things like the Jeff attack. And now Nightmare is going to have to try something cheeky and just change up their play style, play heavily bunker comp here and just protect the strategists from some of this dive while they play inside of this arcade.
We think, try to harass this backline that we saw earlier from YWL, but the thing is no one could even get to the backline, not even the Angela. Her one wing was clipped and Monster gets hit with an anti before trying to back away. Look how much damage he just took. Zaytex was a nail in the coffin before wrapping up. YWL, they're looking onto that point, and one by one, as Nightmare falls, Monster is forced to swap over to the thing, but notes, all right, they're way too close right now. We're dropping down. We may have to portal back in here on this defense.
Vision able to find Jitward there. The portal does come through. They should have time as we see.
Who's
back in hold form? Mace making the switch there to Thing. Like
that's a very early portal, bro. That's a very early portal.
Cooldown was already forced out. Great commitment.
That's fine. Even if they win this fight and hypothetically make it to overtime, they'll still have another portal.
Excuse me, Monster, who was on that Groot, and the whole team just putting a ton of damage in while that anti was out. You see that extra damage.
Everyone's grouped up. Everyone's grouped up. Oh my God, everyone's grouped up.
The res available for his team. And again,
oh my God, bro. Oh my God, if YWL didn't die on Jeff, bro, that could have been such a fat ult, chat. That could have been such a fat ult in there.
Make sure that he's gonna have to take him down himself. He's had enough. And with Skier using that invisible boundary, though, was that worth it? I mean, getting a little worried with the way that Jitward's been flying around them, but that's going to be something that Nightmare may need to rely on. At least Dinks has that God of Mischief, expecting it fully. But YWL are playing very spread out here, just waiting it out.
Xantho prepping for the attack, and here goes the Raging Royal Flush. The commitment comes in from Xantho. Will this be too much commitment? Or playing a little
They're gonna have res too. They're gonna have res too, chat. Even if they lose, but they have to go fight on point a little bit. This is like tiny Overwatch in this room, bro. Tiny Marvel Rivals.
Everybody now trying to find where the shark is. The shark just escaped for the moment. Not sure it got too much.
Light does have res though. That's gonna be big if he's able to get it off.
Have been taken yet, but Cart finds Dinks, the born again from Light, and it does get.
Oh! Oh my God! What was that res? What was that? That was the worst fucking res you could possibly
To
do.
the circus. Cart and Hulk are here to play.
Chat.
And yeah, we lost.
You could have flew to the high ground. You could have hid prior to that. But resing in front of a Hulk who's gonna clap your cheeks like a pair of bongos?
On defense and said, you know what? How about we just go straight in there with Hulk, commit our Hulk ultimate, and just sweep everyone. And Card able to find 4, even shutting down Light on that res right after it was committed. The
No,
idea
bro.
there, folks, is you need to go back into your body form and walk forward. Keeping the
YWL
team, ready to rest.
took the win, even though they had more. Oh, let me see this.
Not in the location of the ultimate.
Oh, that was a
just
domination,
clean
bro.
plays
Oh
there.
my God.
Showing up with 9 finals, most in the lobby, masked with the MVP though.
Oh my goodness, what did we just witness between the Psylocks coming out, Zatex popping off, Jitward was doing Spider-Man things, harassing them. Look, even with that stat line, the amount of impact Jitward had being on Spider-Man was so much that it disrupted that backline to the point that they had to completely change.
I can't
their
believe I
strategy.
just watched the
Forced
game where
out
they won
Nick,
with Spider-Man.
Forced out Namor, forced
I
out
cannot
Loki to
believe-
the Adam Warlock composition just
I
so they could have those
cannot
snipes. They
believe-
were holding it down, Shib, but yeah, we lost. Everybody's eyes were on this MRC team, and they came and they performed. Mass did not go down, by the way, a single time.
Mark Nolan,
Yeah,
preacher
let's
has
go.
at
Shout out
33
again,
months.
Kendrick. I mean,
I just
Kendrick
don't
is struggled
understand.
on map 1, like we'd mentioned.
Like,
Popped off on map
I don't
2
know. I
again,
have to go
most damage
rewatch it,
in
chat.
the
But I
lobby
just don't
area.
understand why he was
Almost the
in
entire
there
lobby, but on
when he could have been
team
playing
with
somewhere
Jet,
else.
Right, so that is just some
Playing for the
serious
res.
play, and again, just
I
finding the
actually-
best angle to hit as many people as possible with that
I
primary
actually
on
just
Jet.
don't
Jet
understand.
has been taking a push forward.